Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are diving headfirst into the world of network marketing. And specifically,
Okay.
we're going to be tackling a question that I bet a lot of you have pondered at one point or another.
For sure.
How do you build a team?
Yes.
And how do you build it fast?
Fast. Yeah, that's the key. We're not talking about slow organic growth here.
Right.
This is about serious momentum that launches your business forward.
All right, so buckle up because we're going to be unpacking a system for recruiting 20 people in just 30 days.
Oh.
Our source for this deep dive is network marketing guru Eric War.
Love Eric War.
And let me tell you, his insights are pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
He tells this incredible story about a network marketer named Terry who earned over $100,000 a month.
Wow.
For 8 years.
What?
All stemming from a single 10-day recruiting blitz.
That's amazing.
I know. So it really highlights the power of concentrated effort.
That's wild.
War argues that these short bursts of intense activity actually create far more momentum and lasting success.
Interesting.
Than spreading your efforts out over months or years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's so counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
You'd think taking your time would be easier, less pressure.
Right.
But War says cramming it all into 30 days actually leads to better long-term results.
Interesting. So why is that?
Yeah. Why is that?
I've always wondered that myself.
Well, think about it. When a group of people joins together in a short span of time, there's this incredible energy. It's like a wave of excitement and camaraderie.
It's true.
And that shared experience creates a powerful bond.
For sure.
It boosts engagement and it helps people stay motivated longer.
You get that group energy going.
It's like a group dynamic. People feed off of each other's energy.
Exactly. And you know what? War's actually seen this play out in the data.
Oh, really?
He's observed that after 5 years, those who use a fast recruitment strategy end up with about 2 strong leaders emerging from their initial group of 20 recruits. And meanwhile, those who take the slow and steady approach might only end up with 1 if they're lucky.
Wow.
So big difference.
That's a pretty compelling argument for speed. But let's get practical here.
Okay, let's do it.
What does recruiting 20 people in 30 days actually entail?
Yeah.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, so based on War's experience, you typically need about 10 presentations to gain 2 new distributors. So to hit 20 recruits, that means you need to do 100 presentations.
100 presentations?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is, and it's important to be realistic. You're not going to get a yes from every single person, and not everyone will show up to their appointments. So to reach that 100 War estimates, you'll need around 125 appointments.
Okay, so 125 appointments in 30 days. And how do those appointments even come about?
Well, it all starts with your list. A list of potential candidates, ideally between 300 to 500 people. And you're going to need to make around 300 phone calls or send text messages to secure those 125 meetings.
I'm sure some of you listening right now are feeling a little overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
300 to 500 people, 300 calls and texts. It sounds pretty intense.
It is.
Especially if you're not the most outgoing person.
Yeah. I get it.
Some of us are a little more introverted.
Yeah, it can feel daunting.
Yeah.
But War's take on this is, rip off the Band-Aid.
Just get it done.
It's better to get it over with quickly. Experience that short burst of pain, and then have more time to rest and recharge afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely logic to that.
Right.
Plus, you might actually find that you enjoy the process.
You never know.
And that whole group energy we talked about earlier might just carry you through.
Exactly.
But let's talk about that list building.
Okay.
Where do we even begin with a list that big?
Right.
I mean, most of us don't have 300, 500 people we would even consider approaching about a business opportunity.
It's true. Well, War's first point is that you probably know more people than you think. And he's adamant that building your list begins with the most obvious place.
Where is that?
Your phone contacts.
He
says include everyone.
Everyone.
Even if you don't think they'd be interested, or if it's someone you haven't talked to in years.
Really?
Yeah, that plumber you called once 5 years ago, add them to the list.
Seriously, everyone?
Everyone. You never know where a conversation might lead or who they might know. And that's War's next key point.
What's that?
2nd-degree separation. So for every person on your list, ask yourself, who do they know?
Oh, I see.
And this simple question can exponentially expand your network.
It's like a ripple effect.
Exactly. Each connection opens doors to new connections.
I like that.
And then War introduces this idea of a 2-a-day rule.
Okay, 2-a-day rule.
Think about it. You probably encounter at least 2 new people every day.
Probably, yeah.
Without even trying. This rule simply challenges you to be intentional about adding those 2 new contacts to your list.
2 a day doesn't sound too bad.
Right. But the compound effect is incredible.
Yeah.
That's 700 new contacts in a year, 3,500 in 5 years.
Wow.
Now imagine if even a fraction of those people became customers or distributors.
Yeah.
It completely changes the game.
Okay, that's a pretty mind-blowing way to think about building a network.
It is.
But are we just randomly adding people on social media hoping for the best?
No, not quite. War is a big believer in the power of networking groups.
Okay.
Both in person and online.
Right.
Find groups related to your interests, attend events, engage in conversations.
Mm.
Remember, it's not just about collecting names.
Right.
It's about building genuine relationships.
What about friends or family members who live far away? Did they count too?
Absolutely. In today's world, it's easier than ever to stay in touch with people regardless of distance.
That's true.
Those long-distance connections can be incredibly valuable, so don't discount them.
All right, so it sounds like building a candidate list is an ongoing process.
Yes.
It's not just about quantity, but about being intentional and nurturing those relationships.
Precisely. A well-organized, detailed list is your foundation for success.
Okay.
In this 30-day challenge, it's your launching pad for reaching out and inviting people to learn more about what you do.
And that brings us to the next hurdle, which is actually reaching out to all those people.
Right.
And, making the ask.
Yes.
I can already feel my palms getting sweaty just thinking about it.
I hear ya.
But don't worry, we'll unpack the art of the invitation in part 2.
Yes.
Where we delve into War's strategies for approaching your hot, warm, and even cold market.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
It's going to get good.
It's about to get really interesting.
Really interesting.
We'll be back soon.
See you then, Matt. Welcome back to the deep dive.
All right, so the appointments are booked, the coffee's brewing.
Okay.
What do I actually say?
Yeah.
When I'm face-to-face with a potential recruit?
This is where it gets fun, right? This is the moment of truth.
It is, yeah.
War's got you covered.
Okay.
He believes the most effective presentations start with a story.
Okay.
But not just any story.
Okay.
He breaks it down into 4 key elements that create a genuine connection.
Okay. I'm all ears. Give me the framework.
Okay, think of it like this.
All right.
You're sharing your background, what you didn't like about that background, the solution you found, in this case, network marketing, and finally, how you feel about the future now that you've discovered this opportunity.
Okay, so it's not just about listing your accomplishments or hyping up the business.
No.
It's about getting personal.
It's about getting personal, exactly. War emphasizes that people connect with vulnerability.
Interesting.
Sharing those challenges, the things you didn't like about your previous situation, it makes you relatable.
Right.
It builds trust.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, I've been there. I get it.
That's so interesting. I would have thought you'd want to present this perfectly polished image of success. But you're saying it's actually the imperfections, the struggles
Yes.
that draw people in.
It seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it's true. War even tested this out live on stage at one of his events.
Oh, really?
He had attendees practice telling their stories in 2 ways.
Okay.
First, by focusing on their achievements, and then by highlighting their struggles.
What happened?
The results were remarkable. When people focused on their challenges, the listeners leaned in.
Oh, wow.
They were more engaged, more empathetic. It completely shifted the energy in the room.
Wow. Okay. I'm starting to see how powerful this can be.
Yeah.
So we set the stage with our story, but then what?
Yeah.
We can't just talk about our woes for an hour.
Right. This is where you transition into what War calls doing the thing.
Doing the thing. I like that.
This is your chance to present the network marketing opportunity itself.
Okay.
Whether it's showing a video, sharing product samples, or walking through a presentation.
Got it.
The key is to tailor this part to your specific company and product line.
Story time, then do the thing. That sounds pretty straightforward.
It is. And War suggests keeping this whole process relatively concise, ideally under 20 minutes.
Okay.
Respect people's time and keep the momentum going.
Makes sense. But I'm guessing not every presentation is going to be smooth sailing.
Right.
What happens when you hit those inevitable objections?
Oh, yeah, you're going to get objections.
Yeah.
That's part of the game.
Yeah. How do we handle that?
War acknowledges that objections are a natural part of the process.
Okay.
But he offers a great framework for navigating them.
Okay.
He says there are really only two main types of objections you'll encounter.
Okay, lay it on me. What are they?
Okay, the first type is a limiting belief about themselves.
Okay.
Things like, I'm too old, or I'm not a salesperson, or I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I've heard all those.
These are all internal roadblocks people put up.
Okay.
And the second type?
Yeah, what's the second type?
Is a limiting belief about network marketing itself. Things like, it's a pyramid scheme, or only the people at the top make money, or you have to be pushy and annoying.
Right.
These objections usually stem from misconceptions or maybe bad experience they've had in the past.
Yeah, okay, I get it. So how do you address these objections without getting defensive?
Yeah.
Or coming across as pushy yourself?
Well, War has a simple but effective formula he calls listen, relate, bridge, and close.
Okay.
First, listen attentively to their objection.
Okay.
Don't interrupt. Don't jump in with a rebuttal. Just truly hear them out.
It's so easy to get caught up in your own head thinking about what you're going to say next.
Yeah.
That you miss what the other person is actually trying to communicate.
Absolutely. And then once you've listened, relate to their concern.
Okay.
Acknowledge their feelings and let them know you understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Maybe you had similar concerns when you first started out.
Find that common ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then bridge to a story or example that directly addresses their specific concern. Maybe share an anecdote about someone who overcame a similar challenge, or highlight a success story that counters their misconception about the industry.
So this is where having a good repertoire of stories really comes in handy.
It does. And finally, you close by reiterating the benefits of the opportunity and addressing any remaining concerns they might have.
Okay, there's a lot there.
I know, right?
Can you give us an example of how to put this formula into action?
Absolutely. So let's say someone says, I just don't have the time for network marketing.
Yeah.
You'd start by listening attentively, then relate by saying something like, I totally understand. I felt the same way when I first started. I was working a full-time job and had a family to take care of.
Okay, so right away you're making them feel heard and understood.
Right. Then you bridge by saying, but what I realized is that even just dedicating a few hours a week could make a huge difference. In fact, I know someone who built a really successful business working just part-time around their kids' schedules.
So you're showing them it's possible, even with limited time.
Exactly. And then you close by saying something like, if you're willing to carve out even a small amount of time each week, I'm confident you can achieve great things too. Plus, imagine having more flexibility and control over your schedule in the long run.
You're reframing their thinking and helping them see the possibilities.
Precisely now, in addition to this objection handling framework.
Yeah.
War also has a specific closing technique he recommends for network marketing presentations.
Oh, I love a good closing technique.
He calls it the 6 closing questions.
Yeah, hit me with those questions.
All right, here they are. Question number 1.
Okay.
What did you like best about what you just saw or heard?
Simple but effective.
Right. Number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not interested at all and 10 being ready to get started right now, where would you say you are?
Okay, that's smart. You're getting a sense of their level of interest right off the bat.
Exactly. Number 3, hypothetically speaking, if you were to do this,
okay,
would you be more interested in pursuing it full-time or part-time?
You're not pressuring them, but you're getting them thinking about the possibilities.
Right. Number 4, again, hypothetically, if you were to do this part-time, about how many hours a week could you realistically dedicate?
You're getting down to the nitty-gritty details now.
Exactly. Number 5, and hypothetically, if you were to get started, how many months could you commit to really giving this your all?
So you're gauging their level of commitment.
Right. And finally, question number 6, if I could show you how to insert a specific benefit related to their needs,
okay,
would you be willing to give this a try?
Wow, these questions are seriously strategic.
They are.
They're guiding the conversation in a very specific direction.
They move the conversation away from a vague yes or no.
Right.
And towards taking action.
Okay, so we've covered storytelling, objection handling, and closing.
We have.
Anything else we need to know to absolutely rock our presentations?
Yes. The last piece of advice War offers is all about confidence.
Okay.
He says the more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. Practice your story with friends, family, even in front of the mirror. Find what works for you.
So it's about finding your authentic voice and getting comfortable with the material.
Exactly. And remember, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Even seasoned network marketers are constantly refining their presentations and finding new ways to connect with their audience.
Now, for our listeners, here's a question to ponder.
Okay.
As you prepare for your own presentations,
yeah,
what's one story from your past that you could share to connect with potential recruits on a deeper level. What experiences have shaped you and led you to where you are today?
That's a great question to reflect on.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
Right.
In the last 2 parts, we've covered a lot of ground, from the power of speed recruiting to crafting compelling presentations. But now let's shift our focus to what happens after you've recruited those 20 people.
Yes. This is where the real work begins.
Right, because what's the point of building a huge team if no one's actually doing anything? It's like having a fancy sports car parked in the garage.
Yeah, all potential, no action.
All potential, but no action.
You got it.
So War talks about this concept of getting them over the line.
Over the line. Okay.
And remember that visual we mentioned earlier of pushing the boulder up the hill?
Yeah.
It's about helping your recruits reach a point where staying in the business is actually easier than quitting.
Right. It's like once that boulder crests the hill, it rolls down on its own.
Exactly. And so how do we help our recruits reach that tipping point?
Yeah. What are the steps?
What specific actions can we take?
Well, first and foremost, encourage product use.
Okay.
It's essential for your new recruits to experience the value of the products for themselves.
And they need to become passionate about what they're sharing with others.
Exactly. They need to be product of the product.
Because if they don't genuinely believe in the products, they're not going to be very convincing, right?
Right. Their lack of enthusiasm will be obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And think about it, when you're truly excited about something, that energy is contagious.
It is, yeah.
When your recruits are passionate about the products, that authenticity will shine through in their interactions.
For sure.
And make them more effective in sharing the opportunity with others.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about hitting those sales targets.
No.
It's about creating genuine product advocates.
It is, yeah. You want them to be raving fans.
Exactly. And what else can we do?
Well, next you want to focus on fostering that sense of team connection. Integrate your new recruits into the group, introduce them to other members, create opportunities for interaction, and cultivate a welcoming, supportive environment.
Yeah, that sense of community is so important, especially in those early days.
It is.
When people are still finding their feet and might be feeling a bit uncertain.
Yes, it's about building camaraderie.
Yeah.
Creating a safe space where people feel comfortable asking questions.
Right.
Sharing their wins and learning from each other's experiences. That shared journey is incredibly powerful.
It's like you're building a support system from the ground up.
Yeah.
They're not just out there on their own. They've got a whole team cheering them on.
Exactly. And of course, it's essential to equip them with knowledge.
Okay.
Provide training materials, resources, ongoing support, anything that empowers them to succeed and feel confident in what they're doing.
So it's not just about bringing them on board and then leaving them to figure it out on their own.
Right.
You're a mentor, a guide. You're invested in their success.
Absolutely. Be accessible, answer their questions, offer guidance, and help them develop their skills. Remember, their success is ultimately your success.
And let's not forget the power of celebration.
Oh, yes.
It's so crucial to acknowledge their efforts and celebrate those wins, big or small.
It is. Celebrating those wins reinforces positive behavior, creates a sense of accomplishment, and builds momentum. It keeps people engaged and excited about the journey.
It's like you're injecting little bursts of energy and encouragement along the way.
Exactly. You know, War really emphasizes that it's not just about practical support, but also about fostering the right mindset and motivation.
Okay.
He believes that network marketing offers a unique opportunity for personal growth, a chance to develop valuable skills that go far beyond just building a business.
That's really interesting. What kind of skills are we talking about?
Well, you know, network marketing often pushes people outside their comfort zones.
It does.
It encourages them to become better communicators, more resilient in the face of challenges, and more confident in their abilities. They learn to set goals, overcome obstacles, and build meaningful relationships.
Wow.
They're essentially becoming more well-rounded individuals.
So it's about so much more than just building a business. It's about personal development, self-discovery, and ultimately becoming a better version of yourself.
Exactly. And War is passionate about highlighting that aspect.
Yeah.
He believes that the biggest reward isn't just the financial success,
right,
but the personal transformation that occurs along the way.
It's not just about the destination. It's about the journey and who you become in the process.
Well said.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into War's insights on recruiting, remember, it's not just about hitting that magic number of 20 recruits.
No.
It's about becoming the leader those 20 people need, creating a supportive, empowering environment, and guiding them toward their own success.
Could have said it better myself.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
And hopefully you're walking away with a fresh perspective on network marketing, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out.
Right.
This system might seem intense, but the potential rewards are huge.
They are.
The key is to approach it with the right mindset, a commitment to personal growth, and a genuine desire to help others succeed.
I agree.
And remember, this is just the beginning of your journey.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, and more to achieve.
That's right.
So go out there, put these strategies into action, and see what you can accomplish.
Good luck, everyone.
We'll be back next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
See you later.